Are you pretending to be someone you're not? Let's take it back to this concept of identity, the identity that we all have as human beings within ourselves, this identity that is formed early on in childhood and later through experiences, through good and bad experiences. And that identity is a definition of what you think is possible for you, what you think you're worthy of. And so that identity is the reason why today you either have what you want or don't have what you want, because that identity makes you do things or doesn't make you do things, because your identity is literally the foundation of it all. But I want to take it a step further, because these programs that start running early on in our human minds, in our bodies, is a very normal thing. But have we actually started questioning these programs that run within us? Because early on as children, it's normal to look at people and be inspired by them and to take on, their characteristics or take on what they're doing and make it our own. But then we become adults, and I now call this process the copy and paste process. Because the world that we live in today has changed tremendously. We are having so much access to so many more people in the world, to so much consumerism, social media. We get to see people how we've never seen people. We get to know people how we've never gotten to know people before. We see other people's successes how we've never seen them before. And of course, we also get to compare ourselves like we've never had the experience to compare ourselves to other people before. And so now we walk through life and we look at this person and we like this certain thing about them, and so we take that on. And we like this certain thing about them, and so we take that on. And we become this copy and paste version of all the things we like in other people. We call it inspiration, but maybe it's actually just a copy and paste of parts of ourselves we think we need and parts of ourselves we think we like in other people. So we want that to be us. We want to take that on. And it's in the smallest things of feeling like someone has started yoga and they've gotten an amazing body. And now you're like, oh, maybe I should do yoga too because I want an amazing body too. And instead of asking yourself, what is it that you actually want or what would feel good for you, you decide to sign up to a yoga class because maybe your best friend has gotten a dream body that you've always liked because she's been doing yoga. And you take on all these pieces and ultimately then try to create what it is that you want within your life. Try to be the best version of yourself that you want to be. Do the thing that you think you have to do without questioning, am I really myself right now? Or am I doing those things because I know that if I do this, it's going to lead to a certain outcome? Or if I do this, it's going to lead to a certain outcome? Or if I do this, it's going to lead to a certain outcome? We've become this copy and paste versions of ourselves that when we feel tired or burned out, we think it's hard work. We think we've overdone it. We think we've overgiven. But maybe it's not the overdoing it. Maybe it's not the overgiving it. Maybe the actual thing that we need to look at is ask ourselves, am I pretending to be someone I'm actually not? Going back to the identity piece, we have this identity within ourselves, but I also think that identity consists of all these little pieces that form this bigger identity. And all these little pieces are all the pieces that you have within you that you know on a conscious level no longer belong to you, but they're still within you and they're still showing up in your life. And that is what's actually weighing you down. That is actually what's making you tired. That is actually what's keeping you stuck, because those little pieces of identity that are still within you are actually why you're pretending. Now, I'm sharing all of this with you because I myself have been really questioning this whole online entrepreneurship, especially coaching space. And I've been in this coaching space for a while now, but I've also become very curious because I feel like so many coaches are copy and paste version of one another. And I don't want to be that. And I started to realize I was moving towards that direction until I've had this huge wave of fatigue that overcame me. And I ask myself, why am I feeling this demotivation? Why am I feeling this lack of energy, this lack of wanting to work? And I didn't ask myself necessarily, something wrong with me. I asked myself, what is the deeper message here? What actually wants to come through? And so I asked myself, what are the things that I do? And what are the things that I think I need to do? And I realized I don't want to just be another copy and paste version of another coach that does the same thing online that everyone else is doing, that looks the same, that says the same. I don't want that. Because to me, that is not authenticity. To me, that is just playing a role so that it leads to a certain result. And there's nothing wrong with wanting a certain result. I talk about this a lot here on the channel. But recently I've been realizing that a lot of it is based on speaking to people's emotion in a very intense way so that people, think about it this way. People buy because they feel something. And a lot of what I've seen creates a very intense emotion. Even when I consume certain type of content from certain coaches, I feel like, oh yeah, I can feel it. I want that. But often the purchase of the product or the service is not done in a neutral way of like, oh yes, I have this problem in my business, so I'm going to invest in this coach. It's done from a very emotional place that might not actually be the thing that the person really needs. Now, this is another topic, that I definitely can talk about, but ultimately, I know this video found you because it is your sign to stop pretending and to ask yourself, what parts of my identity have I not been letting go of? Have I been believing they still belong to me, even though I know it's over? Like, I can't keep holding onto these parts anymore because they're weighing me down. They're making me tired. They're making me believe something about myself that is not true, right? And it can be really anything. It can be that part of you that still believes she isn't worthy of finding the love of her life and realizing, no, but that's an old programming. That's my mother's programming because she really struggled with your dad and you've seen it your entire life. So it's been programmed onto you, and that has created a part of your identity that still today is living within you, but actually holding you back from living that life that you desire. So what are these pieces of identity that you need to start questioning? Where are you pretending to be someone you're actually not? To take it a step further, in a world like today where AI is becoming huge, we no longer want copy and paste. We want real. We want authenticity. And when I say we, I'm talking about myself, but I'm talking about, I think, the human that will appreciate a real conversation over an AI conversation. Even the fact that now podcasts, they exist, that are fully AI generated, scares me because I'm like, damn. But at the same time, I also know that more and more people will look into the direction of connection and realness and authenticity. And you can't be that when you're pretending to be someone you're not. And I'm not going to say it's not scary to let go of that part of you that you've been pretending to be, but at the end of the day, you owe it to yourself, because that's what's making us sick. That's what's making us really unhappy. We're going through life thinking we need to enjoy something or someone, or we need to live life in a certain way, or we need to be a certain way. But all of that is a program that runs within you. And you get to choose to change that program. You get to choose to shed off those identity pieces that are making you pretend, and in that process, people might not agree, but you got to be okay with that. So a very different type of video I created today, but also because I've been realizing myself, I've been pretending in some instances, not all of the time, I don't think so, but in some instances, trying to be someone, trying to do something in a certain way, but actually not speaking my truth. And I hope that if this video found you, it got you some insight into yourself. It got you some insight into what you want to do, what you want to shed. I would also love to hear how this video resonated, if at all. And I can't wait to see you in the next one. Sending you so much love. Bye-bye.